Hello, this particular case you're seeing on the screen will save you from falling into similar trap. This is between the federal government, that is the FCDA, and the Ogbebor family, that is the PAULOSA Nigeria Limited. That is the FCDA and versus the PAULOSA, PAULOSA PAULOSA Nigeria Limited. I believe you must have seen the video that was about a month ago. That very dark man even went to the site to even shoot a video on it, and there have been interviews on the Arise TV on this matter. Listen, there's every tendency that is, if it has not happened, that these people will lose their land based on act of carelessness. So stay to the end of this video. Let me analyze the whole situation. Don't leave or skip this video, because if you are looking at owning land in either any part in Nigeria, whether Lagos or Abuja, this information I want to share with you will save you a lot. Stay to the end of this video.
Whatever it is they say we should pay, the children will put themselves together and pay right now as I'm talking.
I don't know whether it's because this particular family took things for granted, that is what have led to this, or they feel privileged. You know, there's some people that feel privileged, and they will say nothing will happen. We have the legs, we have the connection. I don't know if this is what must have caused this. I know, when Wike make reference to this, Wike, the way he talks, you think that is I don't want to use some words, but people think Wike, since the way he talks and the way he behaves, people might not really take some of his talk serious. But the spokesman decided to cool down very well and analyze it properly. And when I listened to it properly, I had to do this video to tell you what you should look out for, so that you don't fall into things like this. So I would recommend Wike, whenever you're doing things like this, kindly allow your spokesman to do what? To say it, so that people will understand carefully. From the spokesman, he said that particular place, the life camp in Abuja, was given to this particular company to occupy temporary, pending the time they finish their work. That is according to history. So listen to what the spokesman have to say.
I was about to start with a brief history on the land. In the early 80s, construction companies were given space and that's why I know that place is called Life Camp. It was a camp for construction company. PAULOSA 1, Aprofim 2, Costain 3, and I'm also aware of Stabilin Ficiloni. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's an Italian word. So other construction companies were given space there. When you have a contract to build road or do construction, you need a temporary site office. That place was allocated to all those construction companies as temporary site office in 1984. The condition will be that after finishing your job, you leave the site. It is like a construction work, maybe a road being done in my village. And I now look at, this road is going to benefit my village, and my family land is close to the construction site. And I now give my family land to the construction company to use as temporary site office. After constructing the road in my village, will the construction company still stay on that land, build structure on it, and rent the structure out to people? And that is exactly what PAULOSA has done. Other construction company, Aprofim, is no longer there. Costain share the same fence with PAULOSA. That is their land. Costain is no longer there. Right. Stabilini is no longer there. So why is it that the only company that is now there claiming ownership of a land that was given to be used as a temporary site office for construction job is PAULOSA? And the reason is simple. We are running it because it is Nigeria. it is government, anything goes.
All right.
And somebody has come to ask question. A minister is saying that, no, we can no longer continue to run like this. You cannot be given a land to use as a construction company. After finishing your job, you are still there. You have now built houses, and you are renting the houses to people to live. And that is why I've asked, there are 2 documents that will give you claim to own land anywhere. Right of occupancy, certificate of occupancy. I challenge Chief Mrs. Rita Lori to produce any of these 2 documents on that land. Now, like I said earlier, she does not have any. Okay.
I think even beyond challenging, Mr. Egos Enogase, who was representing the estate, the general manager of the estate, had come out to say they didn't have it. But in that interview, and according to his statement, the family are in the process of, they're processing the certificate of occupancy and the right of occupancy. They said out of the 42 million naira, 10 million naira has been deposited. Bearing in mind that this land was allocated, or they've at least been on that land for 40 years without anyone coming to regularize it for so long a time, don't you think they ought to have been given the first right of refusal rather than, almost pull the rug off their feet and then reallocate it to somebody else? If you were going to reallocate it to someone else, you might as well give them the option to regulate, since they are willing to regularize.
Well, they were given option to regularize. They had the offer letter dated February 1, 2023. That is like 20 months ago. They had a letter to say, okay, you have occupied this land illegally. And let me say this again. In Senate claims, in a normal situation, owners of that company should have been arrested for occupying government land illegally for over 40 years. You cannot do that in a civilized society. You cannot come and tell me that because you are a soldier, because you are a woman, you will now go and occupy my property for 40 years. Can anybody occupy your own land or your family land for 40 years without paying, without authority to do so? Now, instead of government wielding the big stick and saying you are a criminal to have done this, government was magnanimous enough to say, okay, they wrote a letter to the government asking for their ownership of the land to be regularized. And government responded on February 1, 2023, 20 months ago, that, okay, we are offering you this land. Come and pay this under this and this condition. Terms. It is like a student applying to, say, University of Port Harcourt, I want to study law. And University of Port Harcourt offered that student professional offer of admission and saying that, oh, you have to pay acceptance fee for us to know that you have accepted this admission. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 20 months, the student did not write, did not pay acceptance fee.
But they said they have paid at least a sum of the money and that they were willing to make the rest of the payment. That's what she said.
Do you?
And sorry, Mr. Alayinka, let me just finish my question. Also, there's also the adverse possession, squatters' rights. That's why I highlighted the number of years that they were there without being accosted by the government. And now the opportunity to regularize, which you said you offered them, they are saying they have the money to pay, but you came with demolition trucks to kick them out and reallocate the land to someone else. So that's the question. That have they paid the sum of 10 million naira? Are they in the process of regularizing?
That is the same thing. That is the same thing I'm trying to tell you. They had 20 months to pay. They did not pay. 20 months to pay. They did not pay. You see, when they got that letter, if you have been angling, if government has been troubling you, leave our land, you now have opportunity of regularizing your ownership of the land. Will you wait for 20 months to pay? They had that option. They had that chance of paying. They did not pay. Then I've seen documents of saying they paid 10 million. And I saw that document. The document is showing that they pay for certificate of occupancy. Do you pay for certificate of occupancy on land not allocated to you? The answer is no. I saw the document. I saw what is written on it, that they paid 10 million for certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
So how can you go and pay, how can you go and pay for certificate of occupancy on the land that has not been allocated to you? So they should come and tell Nigeria, tell the public, tell the government too. Who did they pay that 10 million to?
Okay.
For what reason did they pay that 10 million?
From what you heard, he said in 1984, this place was given to this particular PAULOSA company for temporary possession, so that they can actually go ahead and stay for the place and do the project they were doing part time. What this means is the land was given to company A, because they say they are different company B, company C, and they say this PAULOSA, this company, they are done with their duty and they've left. This company, they've done with their duty and they've left. But this particular company, they occupy the land for over 40 years. What this tells you is that no matter how long it takes, one particular government can just come and just look at things critically, and it might affect. That is the point I'm trying to drive in this video. So stay tuned in this video. Let me tell you more about this, on how you can actually avoid things like this.
This is the letter written to that company. This is the letter written to the company, and the conditions are well stated. Pay ground rent, pay this, and I can see the condition as there. You pay.
What are the terms? Can you read it out? Can you read it out? Can you tell us the terms? How much is it in total? 2.3
million, 11 million, and 43 million. That will amount to like 11 plus 43, that is 54, plus 2, that is about 57 million. No, 50, that is about 67 million.
Okay, so you're saying 67 million.
67 million.
Okay.
From what he said, you will see that according to what he said, that in 2023 they gave them the right to come and regularize the document, even though they have used the product for 40 years. The government sent them a letter that come and regularize this particular land so that it can be yours. But from every indication, they did not. They occupied the land for 40 years. You know what that means? It means that free land for 40 years, land that was given to you as a temporary stay. You know, possibly the family members were not aware of it. Possibly maybe it's the man alone that was aware, but the man is late. So, and they did not carry the wife or the children alongside. But the children will assume that land belongs to them. That is why documentation is very, very important. No matter how small the document is, assuming there was documentation, at least there will be a proof. They will be a proof, but either the wife or the children or whoever, or the man itself, the owner of the company, which is now late, took everything for granted. Listen to this.
Because you can only talk about a land being taken from you if the land belongs to you in the first instance. If you don't have genuine legal claim to a land, you cannot come out to say that a land has been taken from you. I listened to Chief Mrs. Rita Lori. I read what he said on her rights. I know that, and I didn't see anywhere. I have not seen anywhere where she presented any document from the government to back up her claim that her husband's company, PAULOSA, owned that land, the land in question. All that she has come to say is to display emotion, to whip up sentiment. Oh, my husband is late. Oh, my husband have children. Oh, what will my children say about their country? All those things will not matter anywhere concerning this matter. The only thing that will matter will be for Chief Mrs. Rita Lori to come up with documents showing that the land was allocated to PAULOSA Construction Company in 1984. That the land was allocated to that company to build an estate. We should have that document first. We should have probably right of occupancy. We should also have probably, at least if you have been occupying a land for over 40 years, you should have certificate of occupancy. She has not presented any. And the truth of this matter is that she does not have any.
And I'm thinking, they gave them time to come and pay to get a CFO on the land. And I'm thinking possibly they had no money. That is why they delay in making that payment. And for me, I would have recommended, if in case you have this similar challenge, you can do what we call JV. You can do what we call JV. That is joint venture. You have a particular you have a particular land, and you need money to finish that land. You can approach somebody. I have so number of land. Why not give me the money? Let me use it to make this land have a perfect title, so that when the land have a perfect title, you can be a part owner of the land. There can be a written agreement, and most of this company does it in Lagos. Some of this company, what they do before they even launch an estate, they send a mail to all their subscribers that we are about to launch this estate. We are trying to probably they get an allocation. They are trying to make sure that the allocation is have a CFO. So they will send a mail to their prospects or to your client that this land is available. Come and invest. The reason why they are selling that land most of the time as a pre-launch giveaway price is because they actually need funds to go and regularize their land documents. So when they finally launch, there's tendency of them selling that land at double the price or even more, because those that invested earlier, they took advantage of the early entry. This particular company would have done that if they did not have money. Nowadays you don't need your own personal money to be able to execute some projects. That's why we have other people money. You bring other people in to take part of the ownership. Then they give you the money. Then you use it to do what you want to do. It's as simple as that. That is what they must have done, because according to what they said, that they gave them ample of time to come and pay so that they can realize the document. But they delayed, and possibly they did not have money, and the ideas of JV did not come into the scene. And also possibly it was out of carelessness, and they saw it as something that is not that don't worry, they have been doing this, no problem, let's talk about it. Or possibly they have been thinking that this government will come and go, nothing will happen, just like it's been happened before. And that is one thing you need to be aware of. Sometimes you might possess a particular property and you think nothing is that property is okay, and you know that property is government acquisition, and you do not take any action. Time will come, one government, one particular person they appoint will just have or will just have a spark, and will go and check file, and they're looking for land for something. They will just remember that this land, based on the document they have, does not pass through the right procedure, and they will collect it. That is one thing you need to understand. And possibly these people, they think that since they've been occupied the land for 40 years, automatically that land is theirs. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. Listen to this.
There are two documents that will give you claim to own land anywhere: right of occupancy, certificate of occupancy. I challenge Chief Mrs. Rita Lori to produce any of these two documents on that land. Now, like I said earlier, she does not have any.
Okay.
The reality is this: some Nigerians don't like to pass through strict procedure. That is why we will continue having bribing and corruption, because most Nigerians, if you tell them do A, do B, they will ask you, is there no shortcuts? No shortcut. So it has been part of the system that when you want to follow the right procedure, even the government people themselves, they also will just end up, they want you to pass through the shortcuts. So most Nigerians can't really live abroad, because abroad you have to follow through the procedure, anything you want to do. But in Nigeria, it's not like that. That's why some people, when they visit abroad, they say, no, I cannot stay here because the place is very strict. So it is good for you to look at things critically. Documentation is very, very important. Don't overlook it. It's very, very important. Just like when someone is giving birth to, they give them birth certificate. When somebody is late, they get death certificates. They get D certificates. When you buy a car, you get your car document, and even when you are a driver, you get your driver license. That's a document. Everything you do requires documents. Likewise, land itself. Land document is so important in land that you should not ignore for anything. You should not ignore it for anything. I remember when I bought one of the property I got. Then I was not into real estate then, and my wife told me, I bought it out of trust. The person needed money. I just give the person because of out of trust. My wife was telling me, go and get documents. What about if this person is no more there? The wife would just come and say, no, but nothing happened. And after my wife make reference to it a couple of times, I had to just go and I had to just meet the man and I'll get the document. And that saved us a lot of stress. That saved us a lot of problem that would have happened. That the sincere truth is documentation play a major role when it comes to buying property, and not just any other document that matters a lot. What this shows is these particular people, they do not have documents. They are playing on emotion, and emotion and document, they are two different things. Don't use emotion. Provide proof. Provide documents. That is one thing you need to understand when it comes to things like come to land. You need to provide documents. Listen to this.
Mr. Egos Enogase, who was representing the estate, the general manager of the estate, had come out to say they didn't have it.
Even third party even said they don't have documents.
All right.
And somebody has come to ask question. A minister is saying that no, we can no longer continue to run like this. You cannot be given a land to use as a construction company. After finishing your job, you are still there. You have now built houses and you are renting the houses to people to live.
Property is not about emotion. If you don't have documents, you don't have property. It's as simple as that. Third party have said it that they do not have documents. There's no proof of them having documents. So you occupying a land does not mean that the land belongs to you. That is one thing you need to understand.
Mr. Larry Olayinka, so the company that Chinda is involved in has paid for that land already. That's why you guys are enforcing the ejection for PAULOSA, right? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Have they paid for it?
A letter was written to PAULOSA. I'm coming. A letter was written to PAULOSA dated October 10, telling PAULOSA that offer that we gave you 20 months ago, we are revoking it because you did not honor the terms and conditions.
Okay, no, cut to the chase.
Like I said the other
Mr. Olayinka,
time.
cut to the chase. Has Chinda's company now paid for that land? The one they've reallocated to now, has he paid for the land?
Wait, the company to which the land has now been allocated has paid, and all documents has been handed to the company.
People will say that Wike is a land grabber. If you see Wike is a land grabber, if you are buying land in Abuja or buying land anywhere, one of the ways to fight land grabber is to have the document, to have a document intact to the latest. In that case, when people come to grab your land, you can prove that this is your document. In this case now, if this case goes to court, the owner of the land do not have documents to prove. Allocation does not guarantee that the land belongs to you. Even in their own case, they were allocated to stay temporary. That is why it's good to read your document properly. Give a lawyer to read, so that the lawyer will tell you the terms and conditions written in that document. When you're buying property, don't buy property and use your own normal language to read it. Give a lawyer to read and give you a proper definition of what you want to go into. Document is very important. And also note, let the document be registered. Let it be a registered document.
I want to also talk to you about,
Yes.
she also made another allegation of a certain Mr. Chinda owning a company that is linked to your boss. What's your clarification on that? I challenged her on that, but I want to get also your clarification on that. So, and has that company paid that 6-7 million?
Let me say this to you. Let me say this clearly. Assuming but not conceding that company you are talking about belongs to Honorable Chinda. Number one, the question I want to also ask you is that, are we saying that because Nyesom Wike, who is from Rivers State, is a minister of FCT, anyone from Rivers State cannot be allocated land in the FCT? That is one. Are we also saying that because Chinda worked with Wike in the past, like 15, 16, 17 years ago, because of that, if he now needs a land, if a land is vacant and he applies to buy, he cannot be allocated that land? The issue is we are getting too sentimental.
Now, the new owner have gotten the land, and have also paid for the document. That's different. And since the new owner have the land, have the document now, is the rightful owner. According to law, is the rightful owner. These other people have occupied the land, but they don't have documents. This guy has come, has gotten the CFO or the right of occupants, has gotten the land. He has paid all the money. So you getting allocation does not mean that that land is yours until that allocation is converted to a CFO. The meeting that was held around November, where the stakeholders of real estate, we had that meeting. One thing they said there is, if you are given an allocation and you do not occupy the land and start doing something, the land will be given to you. The land will be collected from you. And likewise, if you are given an allocation and you do not do the CFO on that land as fast as possible, it can be reversed. That is why it is necessary for you to, when you're buying government allocation land from any estate, know their plan, how soon they are converting that land to a CFO land.
2.3 million, I'm coming, 2.3 million, 11 million, and 43 million. That will amount to like 11 plus 43, that is 54, plus 2, that is about 57 million. That is about 67 million.
Okay, so you're saying 67 million.
67 million.
Okay. The one they've reallocated to now, has he paid for the land?
Wait, the company to which the land has now been allocated has paid, and all documents has been handed to the company.
This matter, you may say, is for the rich. You might say is between two big men and two big men. But note, this same matter that is like is within the big men. Note, it can also come down to you watching this video. So I know some of you have bought property that have government allocation on it. What role are you playing so that this company that you've bought property from, what role have you asked this company if they've converted that property to CFO, if they've paid for the CFO? It is not enough to have a property that have government allocation and doesn't have a CFO. That is why it is necessary for you to follow or buy from companies that are willing to convert that allocation to CFO. Because if you don't, the same problem that this particular woman and the family are facing might also be your own portion. Don't say God forbid, but you need to do the right thing. That is what this video is all about. I'm using this video to show you what is happening in the system so that you can take the right action. If you don't take anything from this video, I want you to know that documentation play a major role. Documentation play a major role when it comes to you owning a property. If you like occupied property for years and you're not the rightful owner of that property, until you do a proper documentation, a registered one, that when they go and search, you will be the only one that have that document that on that land. My name is Dennis Isong from landparty.ng. What we do, we help Nigerians in diaspora to own property right here in Lagos, Nigeria, stress-free. So if you're looking at buying property, feel free to contact us. The number on the screen is our number. Call us. Let's assist you in owning that property. And also note, we have a course on due diligence. What you need to do to make sure that you don't fall victim when you're buying property in Lagos and other states. Feel free to check on the description and also on this video now. The link will be on this video, which is landproperty.ng/free. Go there. We're going to send you free things which you need to know about due diligence, so that you don't be like I'm not saying that I'm not trying to mock them, so that you don't also have similar challenge. So guide yourself, guide your money, and please kindly subscribe to this channel so that when content like this come, you'll be among the first people to get this. Once again, thank you. My name is Dennis Isong.